Hey guys, welcome back. In my previous video, I have explained about the process of making your resume. After that, I have got a lot of resumes from my juniors to review them. So in this video, I'm going to explain you how you can review your resumes by yourself. So I'll cover some common mistakes and I'll go through some example resume where I'll explain all the mistakes that you should avoid. So for those who are all new, I'm Surya Prakash, EC graduate from NIT Warangal, currently working in Qualcomm as an associate hardware engineer. Like I said in my previous video, a good resume may not guarantee selection, but a bad resume will definitely guarantee reject. With this note, let's get started into this video. So here is an example resume from one of the junior. So first, as I said in the introduction, you have to give a name, correct? Next, roll number is not relevant as the company doesn't have any significance about your roll number, so you need not include about your roll number. And BTech, see, these are very small things, but there should be a space after the full stop and the T should be capital in BTech. And I suggest you keep bachelor's in technology in electrical and electronics engineering instead of B.Tech. See, make sure there are no grammatical errors anywhere in your resume. These are small things, but they matter a lot. Next thing, I personally suggest not to put any logos related to your college or any other things, because this is irrelevant to the company. If there is a role from the CCPD or the training and placement section from your college, then that's fine, but try to avoid these things as they are unnecessary and irrelevant. Next, phone number is okay, and your personal or professional mail, one of them should be sufficient. You need not give both personal and the institute mail, so either one of them. And I said it should be professional, don't include Chintu, right? Coming to the LinkedIn link, make it clickable. Okay, upload them as clickable because they should redirect to your LinkedIn page or GitHub page, whatever the website you put it here. Make sure they are clickable and they redirect you to those websites. Don't just give plain text here. Next, coming to the education, the institute name, and again BTech, B.Tech in electrical and electronics engineering, fine. And Sri Chaitanya Junior Kalasala Alwal, Board of Intermediate, I should be capital, Telangana, okay. And Little Sour High School, Old Alwal, O and E capital. Okay, these are small things, but again, see, they are not grammatically correct. Board of Secondary Education, Telangana, okay. Included the year and the CGPA, year and the percentage, 98.8%, and CGPA, fine. Next, coming to the experience, see, you did an internship in Defense Research and Development Laboratory. After the comma, there should be a space. Intern, instead of intern, do an internship, keep an internship. And offline, a capital, an often experience of, see, this text is readable, okay, fine, but by making a few more changes, it becomes more readable. I'll tell you how. Keep this A capital and O capital, E capital, R capital, W capital, and see, rewrite the sentence. You see the difference. This will make a lot of difference and it has more significance than the simple text, okay. Writing it by making these letters capital highlights gives more emphasis on these words and helps us to grab the interviewer's attention. Any project or experience will have weightage only when the interviewer asks about them or looks into them. Otherwise, they are equally good as not doing them in the first place. So I urge you to lay emphasis on this small things. And again, when the interviewer asks you to introduce yourself, make sure that you focus more on these experiences and the projects. Put some more time on explaining these projects and experiences. Don't just go through them very fast. Take some time and go slowly over these projects such that the interviewer listens to them and understands them and might ask questions from them. Okay, next, here MATLAB, M should be capital, MATLAB, used U. Like I said in my previous video, try to use action verbs instead of passive verbs, passive phrases. So action verbs add more dynamism to your resume. It creates more strong impact to the reader. Spelling S should be capital, and like I said, again, try to capitalize the first letters of those words which are more important. See the S, C of electronics. See here, used MATLAB, comma, Simulink,
and simulated circuits of electronics. This is not needed. This is a passive phrase. Instead, you can write simulated electronic circuits. That is more concise and clear. Correct? Hyderabad, June to July 23, Hyderabad. Okay. Next, again, internship, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Ramachandrapuram. Okay. Offline, O capital, experience, E capital. Offline experience of analyzing the manufacturing process of turbo alternators. Study of production process, P capital, at electrical machines shop. See, when you are adding some words which are, a bit complicated or not so mainstream, make sure that you have answers and you are ready to explain these questions on these words, because the interviewer might ask questions on these words and you should be in a position to explain about them. You should not feel like you are bluffing about these projects. Even though you have done it and you could not explain it, the interviewer might get a bad impression about this when you are unable to explain his questions. Next thing, again, internship, optimization techniques used in renewable resources and power system. So these are small things, but I want you to focus on this again. Online 2 weeks internship program. This is not needed. So you can just directly write 2 weeks online internship. See, this line is not so relevant. An offline experience of real-time work at DRDL. See, of course, you did an internship in DRDL. You need not explain it again. Instead, you can just directly write on-site. That should be sufficient. Okay, that makes it more crisp and concise. The complete statement can be summarized into one single word, that is on-site. Okay. You could directly write, I used MATLAB and Simulink and simulated electronic circuits. Next point could be on-site. That's enough, right? You could tell more about the project itself. You are simply wasting one point for the explaining that same point which I explained again here in the first statement. Again, here the offline experience. Just write on-site, that should be sufficient. Analyze the manufacturing process of turbo alternators, on-site or bracket on-site. Okay, see how clear it is now. Always try to reduce the points. Don't keep the statements as it is, like we write or we speak. Just keep them very concise and use keywords. Okay, you need not write the full statement or full sentence completely. Just make sure that by reading the statement, it gives a complete picture in less number of words and statements. Again, you can directly write projects, no need of including personal project. Whatever it is, still it is a project, right? Traffic light controller, individual online Verilog project. Actually, this is not needed. It doesn't matter if you done it individually or online or offline. Okay, see, you did a project which is traffic light controller and you write Verilog project over. This is not needed, right? Tools and technologies, T capital. Tools and technologies. Technology is not needed, just tools. Okay, tools used, Xilinx. See, this is a big blunder. This is Xilinx, NX, not NUX. This shows your carelessness and you should avoid this. Okay, and V is capital. See, these are small things, but again I am focusing because they matter a lot. Okay, if I could find them, the interviewer will definitely find them, and it will give a bad impression. It shows your carelessness. Just make sure that you correct and proofread before submitting the final one. Individual online, again not relevant. Verilog project, P capital. Tools used, Xilinx Vivado. Linux, same thing. You have put this point empty. See, instead of keeping this point empty, you could explain more about this project, right? Let's say I'm the interviewer and I'm going through this resume. I came to the project section and I read traffic light controller. Okay, this is a Verilog project, fine. And you have used Xilinx Vivado. Okay, got it. But what exactly am I understanding about this? I just understand it's a Verilog project and you used Xilinx Vivado. Nothing more than that, correct? So make sure to include more description about this project, what exactly you did in this project, and what are the outcomes or what is the problem statement. If you can explain it more, there's a more chance that the interviewer would ask questions about this, and it increases the chance of your selection. Here also you have not included the description of the project and you kept this point empty. For each project, make sure to include at least 1 or 2 brief points about the project. Next, courses, MathWork courses, MATLAB on-ramp, Simulink on-ramp, circuit simulation on-ramp, control design on-ramp with Simulink, self-paced. Again, this is not needed. Okay. So just write courses and write MATLAB on ramp, Simulink on ramp, circuit simulation on ramp, control design on ramp with Simulink. That should be sufficient. I suggest you to do courses from multiple platforms because that gives more weightage, and you can add one more point here in the under the courses section. You can also do it from Udemy or Coursera, but that's fine. Okay, and that's completely optional. Technical skills and interests. Also in the courses section, you can add the certificate to each course which you have completed. Okay, make them clickable and attach the links to the certificates so that if the interviewer wants to refer to them, he can do that. Okay, technical skills and interests. Languages: C++, Python, Verilog, SQL, good. Simulation tools. See, it doesn't matter you include simulation, just write tools or softwares. MATLAB, Simulink, OrCAD, PSpice, Tinkercad, TCapital. Next, coursework. See, coursework, it would be more relevant if you add it under your education, under here, okay? Under the National Institute of Technology, Warangal, you did Bachelor's of Technology in Electrical Engineering. Here itself, you add one more point about the courses you have done and the academic work you have done, that would be more relevant here, correct? And also, if you add what is the stream? Stream is, of course, it is default, but you can add it here, correct? And so this point goes there. Electrical machines, power systems, control systems, EMI, ENA, digital and analog electronics. Like I said, the coursework should be relevant to the job description which you are applying for. Don't just include, for the software company, these courses are relevant, and for the hardware companies, the software courses would be irrelevant. So make sure to keep them relevant. Soft skills, group discussion, capital, critical thinking, work ethic. It should be ethics, not ethic. Okay, so make sure that you have an example for each of these soft skills, because if the interviewer asks you to prove your critical thinking or team working skills, etc., so you should have an example ready so that the interviewer doesn't think you are bluffing about your skills. Areas of interest: PCB designing, capital. When write designing not needed. MATLAB is not an area of interest. MATLAB is a tool. Okay, by using MATLAB, let's say you are interested in system design or system modeling, that you have to write. MATLAB is a tool, right? Power systems. Okay. Positions of responsibility: executive member, capital, in Electrical Engineering Association. Okay, like I said in my previous video, again, see, for the interviewer, I don't know what is Electrical Engineering Association and I don't know what it does. Okay, just by adding one point, what should I understand? So try to add more points about what you did as an executive member in Electrical Engineering Association, what EEA does. EEA means Electrical Engineering here, and what are the projects or what are the workshops you have took part, and if any relevant things about EEA and your executive position in this EEA. Try to add these points. Okay, just by putting it doesn't make any much sense, right? Joint secretary in Center for Value Education Club, and in is not needed. Okay, you can write joint secretary and hyphen or colon, executive member, capital, fitness club, executive member, Center for Value Education. You have already written, right? See, you have to always include the latest position. Even if it is from the same club, you should not repeat them. Always you have to add the most recent and the relevant position of responsibility. Fine. Next, achievements. Secured school rank 1. Secured is not needed. School rank 1. CT rank 29. International rank 69, 699 in National Science Olympiad. School rank 1, city rank 87. See, city rank, again, it doesn't make much sense here. Already you have explicitly explained your school rank 1. Again, why do you want to explain all the other ranks? If someone asks about your JEE Mains rank, you will directly say 1 rank, but this city rank is this much and international rank, national rank is this much. You won't tell that, right? So school rank 1 makes sense, and these are all is redundant, not needed. School rank 1 or first position National Science Olympiad for this year. Okay, and again, first position, see, first position International Maths Olympiad. Under this you add 2 points. Okay, attained class rank 1 in 10th SOF International Maths Olympiad for the year 2015 and 16. Okay, that's more readable and it catches the interviewer's attention, correct? So just make those changes. And won One is not needed again. See, one is sports vice captain and captain in consecutive years. Again, school as capital E capital. One as sports vice captain. Instead, you could write directly sports vice captain and or comma captain in school elections 2017 and 19. That's more crisp, right? So always make sure that your resume and whatever the points you are writing, write them very carefully. Keep them very crisp and concise. The interviewer doesn't have much time to read all the points, and if he doesn't read a point, it is as equivalent, it is as good as not doing the project in the first place or the position of responsibility. Let's say you have genuinely done a lot of work as an executive member in the Electrical Engineering Association, but during the interview, let's say the interviewer doesn't look into this, okay, because let's say it didn't grab my eye or grab my attention and I didn't read about this point. See, now you have done a lot of work here, and if asked about this point,
Now, who knows? This might be the game changer. Just by explaining about this point, the interviewer might change his mind.
just because this was not readable and the interviewer could not pay much attention, you are losing the potential chance to explain about this and your chance of selection, correct? And that, like I said in my previous video, the interviewer generally has 30 minutes or whatever the stipulated time. In this stipulated time, we have to impress the interviewer to get selected, okay? And these are the points, these are the things where you can impress the interviewer without any trouble. That's why I suggest you to keep them crisp and make them readable, and keep them in such a way that they grab the interviewer's attention so that he could ask questions from them and you are ready to explain about these points, okay? These are the few changes that I have found. Make those changes and again go through them so that there are no grammatical errors. And like I said, there are two types of templates. First is a horizontal template like you're done now, and other one is a vertical template, so wherein you divide the page into two and you explain points vertically into two halves of the same page. If you see in the background, this space is completely white and it is empty, okay? And in the end here, okay, this feels a bit clumsy and fully occupied, okay? Instead, what you could do is, if you use a vertical template, you have more space in the page to fill up the points, and the place in between like this would be not wasted and you could use it and add more points, okay? Like I said, here I wanted you to add more description about the position, so here you don't have place, okay? If you try to add it like this will go to the second page. Instead, you put half the page and then you get more space to add more points, okay? I think with this basic guidelines help you to review your own resume, and if you have any more doubts, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching. All the best. We'll see you in the next video.